on February 19th, 2009, Namco Bandai released Noby Noby Boy for the PlayStation Network on the PlayStation 3 console. The release was a download-only game, and it cost about $5 US currency. And I have to say, without a doubt, this is by far the weirdest fucking game I've ever played in my entire life. My first reaction was, oh, I see that LSD made its way over to Japan. And you'll see exactly what I mean in a few seconds as soon as the game finishes loading. Noby Noby Boy was designed by Keita Takahashi, and he's the same designer that designed Katamari dommiesan. So that'll give you an idea where this game is coming from and where this designer is coming from. So here's the general rundown of Noby Noby Boy. You control that little pink four-legged creature. And this character's name is Boy. And Boy's controls are very complex. They involve virtually every button on the PS3 controller, including the 6-axis tilting feature. But in a very general sense, you move Boy around with the 2 analog thumbsticks. One of them controls the front half, and the other one controls the back half of them. You can go in 2 separate directions if you want. And if you stretch yourself apart and keep pulling, you stay stretched and have this rainbow striped effect on your body that's stretched out. And you can keep stretching and get longer and longer if you wish. And that's about what you do. Aside from that, and running around and interacting with everything you see, you can tap one of the trigger buttons. I believe it's the left trigger, and that'll allow you to eat something if it's edible near you and you can fit it in your mouth. And if you tap the right trigger after you have something in your gut, you'll expel it out your ass. Tapping the left and right triggers also allows you to bounce around and kind of float through the air. Much of the other controls on the PS3 controller have to do with camera angle and adjusting your camera view, but that's pretty complex in and of itself. It involves tapping the left and right bumper buttons, as well as holding them down and using your 6-axis tilting to change the angle or zoom in and out. Now, Noby Noby Boy is what I'd call an extremely experimental game concept. There is no mission, goal, or purpose of the game other than to stretch out your body and eat stuff or interact with stuff. And there's simply no point scoring system, anything, no discernible mission at all. And the game tells you that right up front. It says there's no mission, nothing to kill, nothing to actually do other than interact with the environment with no set goal. Which, if you think about it, is an extremely experimental concept for a game by itself, because it almost negates it being an actual game. It almost borders on being some kind of function or application more than a game. I can't quite figure it out myself, you know, but I can tell you one thing, it sure is interesting. At least in the academic sense of the word interesting. So almost every feature in this game is counterintuitive except for the 2 control sticks controlling the character Boy. Here you're looking at the pause menu, which is actually accessed by pressing select instead of start. And you can actually interact with the lettering and all the wording on the start menu, which is as much of a game as the main part of the game. Now, the real interesting part of Noby Noby Boy is its concept of group points. And that is that anybody that plays this game accumulates, I guess you could call it points, but it's not really. It's an accumulated length that you've stretched is remembered, and you can upload it to this character called Girl that you see here. And everybody that plays this game does this, and it tallies everybody's total length up. And right now you can see that everybody that has ever played total has scored 946,000 some odd meters of length stretched. And this goes to a group unlocking of different planets. You actually have to stretch the entire length between the Earth and the planet to unlock it. So far, everybody in the world that has played this game has stretched enough to reach the moon. So the moon is now unlockable as a game environment. And you see the moon right here. The next environment that you can unlock is Mars. And Girl is already on her way to stretching to Mars. And the longer people play and keep uploading their stretched length, the closer you get to Mars. I'm not quite sure how far we have to go as a collective group to get to Mars and to be able to unlock it as a collective group. But it should be really interesting to see. When this game was first released, Namco Bandai had predicted it would take about 2 weeks or so for everybody to accumulate enough points or length to reach the moon. But the moon was unlocked in 4 days. So either Namco Bandai underestimated the popularity of the game, or the amount of time people would play it. This has got to be one of the more bizarre games I've ever played, if not the most bizarre game I've ever played. I'm not even quite sure if it technically is considered a game. But it sure does capture your attention once you start playing it. And it's easy to lose yourself in it and play for 20 minutes, a half hour, and not even realize how much time has passed. And it certainly is a nice, interesting exercise in relaxation. Here in the Sun menu you can select which planet you go to, but you can also check out Girl rankings. And that shows you where you rank as far as you stretch compared to everybody else that's played. And you can see right there in the mix, Dommy215. But there is seemingly an infinite number of players that have played this game. And you can just scroll through them all if you like. And this game sure is weird. I'll give it that. Now, aside from its way unorthodox controls and its way unorthodox gameplay style and concept, I'd say that Noby Noby Boy accomplishes its mission in keeping you entertained for a little bit of time. And for $5, you really can't beat that. I'm Dommy from Classic Games Revisited. Until next time.